Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We are Two Sisters Artistry. I'm Erin.
I'm Melissa.
Today we have a video for you guys that I think you're really going to enjoy. It's not as fun and peppy as most of ours, but it is really informative.
So what we're doing is going to show you guys how to do your makeup, some of the techniques that we use. We both have different skin types, and we want you guys to be able to see how you should do your makeup, or maybe different techniques if you're not familiar with how to do your makeup, and just kind of show you guys what we do and hope it works for you guys.
Yeah. So we hope that you enjoy, we hope that you learn something, and we hope that you continue to come back to our channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. If you like the video, like, subscribe, share with your friends, find us on Facebook and Instagram, and if you're around town, look us up.
Oh yeah, guys, look at this. Hold on, I have to show them this because look at it, guys.
We got our business cards. Yay! They're super cute and we're super excited. So definitely look us up. Our blog is live on our website. You can find the link down below. But again, we're really glad you're here and we hope that you like this video.
Hope you like it. Bye!
Start off with primer.
And I'm going to go in with the No Problem primer. It's a pore filling primer. I'm oily and you can definitely see my pores, so it helps to kind of fill those in and give you like a smooth canvas before you put on your foundation. Honestly.
Yeah. And I use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. It's a primer and moisturizer in one. This is what the little bottle looks like. Here, I'm sure the big bottle looks the same, but it has hyaluronic acid and niacinamide. Yeah, niacinamide. Niacinamide is something that reduces pores, fine lines, a little bit of dullness, and the hydrating product is the hyaluronic acid. The hyaluronic acid is used like for moisturizing, makes your skin plump and nice and hydrated. So I'm going to start with that. I've become really dry here in the middle of my face, and so the hyaluronic acid kind of helps with that. It's my biggest problem. Because my foundation is somewhat mattifying, the oiliness around the outside of my face, I don't really worry about it too much because my foundation is going to help take care of that, which is the Maybelline Dream Liquid Mousse. I am the shade 50 Creamy Natural. I don't know what it is about this foundation. I've purchased high-end after high-end, but it says it's an airbrush finish, and I really just feel like it gives me a smoother finish, and I really like it.
Sometimes you have drugstore products that, like, they just did it. They just did that shit.
Yeah, and it works for you, and sometimes there's high-end products that work better.
Yeah.
That, you prefer to use. And I am just putting this all over my face. Again, I put my foundation over my eyelids. It kind of makes my face all one color.
I'm going in with the YSL All Hours Foundation. It is a 24-hour foundation. It's matte, full coverage, because again, I am oily. I need a matte foundation to kind of balance out the oil so that it doesn't look greasy and shiny throughout the day. And I'm all about my full coverage, y'all. All about it. And
I find that my Maybelline foundation is buildable, so if it doesn't go on full coverage with like 2 pumps, I can add like a pump or 2 back to my beauty blender or even straight to my brush. I use this Morphe M439 if I'm putting my foundation on with a brush. I usually like this one, but I haven't washed it in a while. And I noticed that the oils that I do have in my skin sit on my foundation brushes, and it doesn't blend as well or blend as nicely when I go to do my foundation.
And we're both using beauty blenders. You want to find one that's pretty soft and like squishy, because if you have one that's not soft and squishy, it's just going to soak up your product. It's not going to blend well.
Yeah. And generally you get your Beauty Blender wet, so it's got a little bit of moisture in it.
Yeah.
It helps with the blending and smoothing. I like this Real Techniques one because it's got a flat side for like my foundation, and it also gets right up close to my eyes under here to do my foundation there. But it also works really well for concealer.
I'm going to go in with the NARS Soft Matte Cream Concealer. It comes in a little pot like this. You guys can conceal however you want, but generally speaking, you want to get underneath the eyes to brighten up any dark circles or anything like that and just make your eyes look more awake. If you're going for like a full glam moment, you can do a little tiny happy tree right up here, down the middle to highlight, and on your chin, just a little dot. And then you're going to look tribal for a second, and then you're going to be gorgeous.
Alright, so I'm going to go in with the NARS concealer as well, under my eyes.
It's life, y'all.
It is life. Yeah, and I do the same thing. I use a brush, so
I just put it here.
I do what she does, crown brush.
I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I'm using the Airspun. I'll show it to you guys in a second. I accidentally dumped powder in it already. But basically you're just setting it on place so that you don't smear it or smudge it. If you've touched your face after you put foundation on, you'll notice it's kind of sticky and tacky. You'll definitely move it if you wipe your finger on it. So putting the powder on top of it just makes it stay in place. It's not going anywhere. And make sure you don't have any creases under your eyes before you do that, or else those will also be set in place.
Yeah.
I just think for me personally, maybe it's my skin, I like setting with the Beauty Blender because it makes mine last a little bit longer. I'm just like packing it in there. All about that cake. Cake.
You can set with a powder brush, or you can set with a Beauty Blender. I like to press my Beauty Blender into my powder. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me powder in loose finishing powder in 05 Fair. It's a really light powder, and it's very good for setting under eyes because, again, my under eyes are already lighter than my face. So I go and I press that against my skin. You'll see it here. And I'll do the same on the other side. And it looks all splotchy because it comes out of the thing in holes.
And one thing you guys definitely don't want to do, don't mistake setting powder for a powder foundation. Huge mistake. You're just putting foundation on top of foundation. It's not setting anything. It's going to come out cakey when you wear it throughout the day. It's going to be a bit oily. It's not going to be a good situation. So make sure it says setting powder or
finishing
powder,
powder.
finishing powder. As long as it doesn't say powder foundation, you're good.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a bad product or anything.
Right.
Just don't set with it initially.
Unless that's what you like to do, then that's you. But there's reasons that there's two.
Bye-bye lashes.
Blew her lashes right off the table.
They just like, they flew away.
Alright, so I am leaving mine on to bake a little bit, and then I'm going to move on to bronzer. This is the Pixie by Petra Beauty Bronzer in the shade Summertime. That's what it looks like in the back. And the front, it usually has like a Pixie logo on there, but I'm hitting pan on this one. So I've used it a lot. So I'm going to go in with that and this little Everyday Minerals, like, it's kind of like the NARS Ita brush, but not as expensive. Yeah. But you'll see that it's got like a long skinny shape. It's really good for cutting in on your contours and things like that. So I use a bronzer. You can use like cream colors that are darker than you, but the only thing that I have to say about that is if you're starting out, you might see like a picture of where to contour, where to highlight, and a lot of people like to use cream contours to do that, to like set out their face. But they can be really hard to blend out. And they're really not a very good like beginner thing. You might be really good at it, but I've always had an issue with it. It's not very beginner to do like a cream contour and then go into blend and things like that because it dries really fast sometimes. And it's kind of hard to blend out. So
especially if you're not like familiar with products and you're not like, oh, this blends easier, this blends difficult, then yeah, it's not good times, y'all. It's gonna come out looking all kinds of janky.
And I take it sideways at first, so like long ways here, and then slowly turn it in skinnier
to create like a cheekbone. Like a natural cheekbone.
And I'm going to blend that in, I promise.
I'm going to go into blush first. I am using the Tarte blush palette. This is the Bling It On palette. It's got 5 different blushes in it. It's stunning.
The Amazonian clay blushes, I believe.
Oh, okay. This is just maybe a special edition palette, I'm guessing, because it's really pretty and blingy. I'm going to go in with the color Smashing. It's a matte blush right there. They've got some shimmer blushes, some pinky blushes, but I personally like just a peachy, natural blush moment. And then you just want to take it on the apples of your cheeks or the part that stands out.
But with my bronzer, I also bronze on my forehead so that I have a really big forehead. I have like a 5 head and then some. But when you bronze, it creates like a shadow and it recesses it and it kind of makes it go away a little bit. So I like to do the little 3 motion around through the middle and then underneath my chin a little bit. And I always blend that out. Okay.
And I'm going to use the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. It smells wonderful. It's everything. And I'm going to use a Real Techniques brush for mine.
There's foundation on that, so be careful.
Oh, shitters. It'll be alright. I'll figure it out.
This is the one I use.
I don't know. I personally use like bigger ones for contour, I guess. I guess there's a difference between bronzing and contouring. If you're bronzing, you're kind of glowing up your face. If you're contouring, you're really trying to accentuate your features like your cheekbones or make your forehead look smaller, your jawline look smaller.
Sorry, I can smell it. She's like waving it around. That smells really good.
I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, you can. It smells like coconut, like that banana boat tanning oil, kind of. It's good shit, y'all. Good shit.
Also going to use the Tarte blush palette. So I'm going to dip into both Dollface and Smashing. Dollface is a little too pink. Smashing is a little too peach for me. So I'm just going to mix them both because you can do that. Because
it's so easy, y'all.
Super easy. And then I go in with my Eco Tools full powder brush and brush away the excess that I've had baking.
And I contour my nose. I know she doesn't.
I did contour my nose.
But you don't contour it like a ton, do you?
I just run it down the sides.
Yeah. So I do mine pretty similar, and I don't know, I'm just so used to using a big brush for contour, or maybe in like either a big brush or a really tiny brush. Alright, so I take it on half the brush because if you use a big brush for contour on your nose and you fill up the whole brush, you're going to have contour like out here, and you just want it on the side of your nose just to make it look like your nose can't breathe. I just like to leave a little line in the middle for highlight, and there we are. A snatched nose is a snatched.
It's like a snack nose.
Like a snack nose, but it's snatched. And then for my cheeks, I like to cut them with powder. Just like this. Just follow your natural cheekbone towards your mouth. And let it bake for a minute.
Yep.
AKA let it sit there for a minute.
Yes. And then I am going to move on to highlighter.
Yeah.
But I didn't bring one to my table. So I'm going to use this one. So this is the Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter in Kitten. And Kitten is Stila's like #1 color.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's neutral.
I have a hard time applying this. This is what it looks like. I have a hard time applying this with a brush because it's kind of like squishy.
Yeah, it's like
so
like if you put your finger in it, it squishes down.
Leaves an indentation in it. So I just use my finger, rub it around the top of it, and then dust it over. And again, I use highlight because on either side of a contour, it helps set in the contour and highlight the cheekbones, which kind of brings up your face, brightens your face. But then I also just like to look extra snatched and flashy in pictures. Yeah. So it just kind of highlights places that you enjoy and want to be seen.
A good rule of thumb that I think for contour and highlight, if you're not familiar with it, is that contour will go in places that you normally would have a shadow, and that highlight will go in places where the sun would naturally hit it, like your cheekbones, the bridge of your nose, the cupid's bow, the chin. So if you have an indentation, contour, if it's kind of elevated up, you want to highlight that.
Yep. She's so smart, y'all. Ding! Okay, so I'm going to move on to eyes.
We put a light bulb there. I just want like a little light bulb.
Ding, ding. And I'm going to use the Naked palette by Urban Decay. And then I'm going to go in with the color Chaser, which is the second color, with my Morphe M433, which is a light fluffy brush. I'm going to use that color all over my eyes to kind of blend in. Again, I don't use eyeshadow primer most of the time because I do put foundation on my eyes, on my eyelids.
Dang, I forgot to bring eyeshadow primer.
So that's what I do. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with Sauced, which is the color right next to it. And I'm going to concentrate this one more towards my crease in a windshield wiper motion. When I get to my outer corner, I kind of do like a circular motion a little bit to kind of blend it out a little bit more around the outside.
And I'm going to use an eyeshadow primer using the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. It looks like this pretty gorgeous little bottle. And anytime you use primer, whether it's on your lips or your face or your eyes, basically all you're trying to do is set it up for the highest chance of success, I think. Like blank canvas, smooth. If there's any bumpies or lines or whatever, you're just trying to make it as smooth as possible so that the makeup goes on flawlessly when you put it on.
And I am going in with He Devil, which is like an orangey red, from the same palette. I'm using the Morphe M441, which is just a little bit of a bigger tipped brush. And I'm concentrating mostly on the outer corner in a circular kind of motion, and then dragging whatever's left across my crease.
I'm going to go ahead and start on my brows. I do them before my shadow because I feel like I need to put like highlight on my brow bone after they're done. So the way that I start is with this little spoolie. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's kind of a little brush comb for your brows. And just kind of brush my hairs out so that they're smooth and all in one direction. Makes it easier to apply the... What are you looking for?
Nothing.
To apply the eyebrow product.
And then I'm going to go in with the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia, and the color Venetian Red. Just kind of focusing underneath my crease towards the outer corner. This is kind of like a take on a smoky eye, but with reds.
And you can do it with like purples or blues. You can follow her same technique that she does with any color.
Yep, absolutely. And then I'm going to go back in with the Naked palette and use the color In Fuego. Probably mix it a little bit with Ashes, which are the two colors on the end here. They're kind of like a purpley red color. And my Luxie 231 to do the bottom outer corner. And the bottom outer corner is kind of what gives it a little bit of depth. And kind of darkens it up just a little bit, blends it into your eyeliner if you're going to do like a winged liner, but it doesn't add too much dark around the outside.
And then on my brows, like you guys just saw me do, I start with a line underneath just so that I have something to follow. If I have any hairs that aren't straight across there, it just kind of creates a smooth line. And then I'll kind of fill in the hairs on the front, just create some like soft little hair strokes right there, just in case, again, if there's any sparse hairs. I have blonde eyebrows, that's what I do, you definitely can't see them. And then I'll go on top with them, just create a line right there so that I have a general shape to follow whenever I fill them in. everyone does their brows a little bit different. If you have something that works for you, again, do that. This is what works for me and what I found to be tried and true for my eyebrows.
And then I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. professional eyeshadow brush. It's got a little bit of a gold color already on it. I'm going to spray it with some MAC Fix Plus. Again, it just kind of gets the brush wet. You could use any kind of water spray. You could use regular, like just a glass of water, whatever you want to use. This makes it kind of more of a, like a creamy pigmented color when you go to put it on your lid. So I'm going to spray it and then go in with Vermeer from the Anastasia palette, which is a like a white shimmer, a pearly kind of shimmer, and pack that on from my inner corner to about mid-eye. You could either underdo that or overdo it, like closer to the outer corner, or I try not to stop smack middle, just because it kind of cuts the eye in half in kind of a strange way. But when you do this, you definitely need to go back in and blend it one into the other. I'm generally able to use just this brush to kind of lightly dust it into the red. You might be able to tell a little bit how it kind of cuts into the red a little bit. And I want that look so it looks a little blended out.
Just to create some like depth and whatnot. And I'm using the Anastasia Dip Brow. It looks like this. She's definitely been used. This one is in soft brown, and I just used to fill it in. So I kind of use the Brow Wiz to outline my eyebrows, and then I use the Dip Brow to kind of fill them in with a brush. The thinner the brush, the better, to create like natural hair strokes so that you're not just like coloring it in.
I'm going to use the MAC 219 SE. Again, this is from this little set that I have. And I'm going to use that for my inner corner. I always add like a pop of a bright shimmer onto my inner corner to kind of lighten up and bring out my eyes a little bit.
And then I'm going to use this brow gel. I'm using the Givenchy Mr. Brow Groom. And brow gel is just like hair gel. If you have curly hair and you have a gel in it, it's going to keep everything in place so that the curls don't move. Same general rule for your eyebrows. You're just going to kind of brush them in place where you want them, and the brow gel is going to keep them in place so that they don't move anywhere, and so that you can keep that pretty eyebrow color that you just put on. So you just brush them in place. So
My brows are so beautiful.
Thank you.
So for my liner, I'm going to go in with the Tattoo Liner in Trooper by Kat Von D.
And then I'm going to start on my eyeshadow now. I know it's a little bit out of order, but that's okay. You guys are here for it. I'm going to start, again, kind of how she did with that first color, with an all-over neutrally shade. I'm going to go in with this color right here from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. And that's just going to soften up my primer so that I'm not kind of dragging the brush across where the primer was at. And it makes it a little bit easier to blend other colors into my eyelid.
So, I'm going to move to my bottom lash line. And this is where we get a little spring breaky, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Electric Obsessions palette. Okay, so just so you guys can see what this looks like. Oh, yes.
It's almost electrifying.
Ah, electric. Electrifying. She's so... Okay. I am going to use this Morphe M432 brush. It is a flat liner brush. And I'm going to take this bright yellow and just go in my bottom lash line.
And I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Subculture palette. The only thing that I will warn you guys against with this palette, if you use it, if you go get it, whatever, it's not an eyeshadow to me. It's a pressed pigment. It's so pigmented, which who am I to complain about a lot of pigment, but girl, I'm telling you, like, it is pigmented. So if you're not familiar with blending and all that jazz, careful, y'all. Careful.
Oh, thank Thank you for that. What did you got?
Like, I'm being so careful right now. I'm going to go in with this shade Fudge right here. It's this brown shade in the Subculture Talent.
Doo-doo brown.
Doo-doo brown.
And it really helps when you're doing your under eyes to open your mouth as wide as you possibly can.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just does.
Just this ugliness. What is
Just
like the grudge face? I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Like when you're doing mascara, like
your eyes couldn't get open more if you don't open your mouth as wide as you can. So, see, look, I can't do it with my mouth closed.
And if you guys are not familiar with like blending out your eyeshadow, I would definitely say the lighter the hand, the better it's going to blend for you. You won't have to do any work. It'll do the work for you. So I've personally found for me that if I'm doing like small, tiny circles like this, my eyeshadow will just blend for me. I don't have to put any kind of technique into it. It just does it.
So my brow definer just dried on me. So I'm going to use her Brow Wiz, which I do think is a little bit easier to use because it's got such a fine tip on the end. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to go in with.
You got a fine tip, girl.
And so, because I'm still kind of a beginner on my brows, I still really live by making small marks. So I start next to my nose and go straight up. I do catty corner across my eyelid there, and then down towards the outside of my eye. And so I make 3 marks to help me like figure out where to fill in my brows. So,
and to be honest with you guys, this isn't a look that I would normally do. I'm just trying to do something a little different, a little springy, just some different colors. You don't have to do a shimmer. You don't have to do like a monochromatic eye like I'm doing. Whatever you want. We're just giving you guys general guidelines to follow to make your life a little bit easier whenever you're doing your makeup.
And one of my totally favorite things about makeup is that it comes off.
It comes off.
So if you mess up, just take it off and try again. There's like no issue with that. Alright, lashes on.
If you guys are beginner lashes or beginners at putting lashes on, just wait for the glue to get a tiny bit tacky and it's not so liquidy before you put them on so that they'll stick and not just kind of like every time something touches them that they come off.
I use either the bottom of a brush or the back of tweezers to kind of go in and press it on to my lash line.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go underneath my eye really quickly just to smoke it out.
A lot of people like to line their under eyes with like eyeliner, or maybe they do like their inner water line. I don't recommend that because it makes your eyes look smaller, unless you want your eyes to look smaller. Lining the inner water line with a black especially makes your eyes look smaller. So if you want to have like, I feel like the under, smoking out your lower lash line, or adding some kind of shadow to your lower lash line kind of finishes the look and kind of gives you like a complete look. I suggest if you want to do something under waterline, maybe do a white liner, nude, or a nude color. I like to use my like bright teal because that's going to help to open up your eyes a little bit. So while she's doing that, I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Hangover RX 3-in-1. It's a replenishing primer and a setting spray. So it primes, it sets, and it replenishes. So you could spray this on. This is what it looks like. So you can spray this on before you do your makeup to kind of hydrate your skin and prep your skin. You can do it as a setting spray, and then you can carry it with you if you'd like especially during colder weather, if your face is starting to dry out a little bit, you just kind of need a little bit of like refreshing. You can take this with you and use it then. I really just use it for a setting spray, mostly because it's hot as balls in Texas, and I don't generally dry out throughout the day. If anything, I get sweaty and oily.
It'll kind of like melt your makeup into your skin to make them both like cohesive and make it kind of one, so it's not a foundation or a powder setting on top of another product.
Right. Now I'm just going to do this Get it over with. Okay. So I am going to do my lips now. I have MAC, a MAC lipstick. It's in the shade Men Love Mystery. It is a matte purple color. Y'all, purple is my favorite lipstick color to wear.
I'm going in with this Sephora lip stain. It's in the color 05. It's kind of a shimmery nude lippy, so it'll dry matte, but it is a shimmery lip. Y'all, she makes me overline my lips every time I do them. So if I cut them off, she's going to let me know like she probably is right now. Like
No,
they're cut off a little bit. No? Are we happy with
Just
my
a little
lippies?
bit, but it's fine. Okay, so this is it. This is our finished look. We've got kind of a reddish eye with our little yellow underneath. Kind of adds a little springy fun.
I feel like I'm kind of fall right now. Like I started off spring and then it just kind of fell into fall. I don't know why. But I've got kind of like a tealy moment happening right here. Dark smoky eye. So yeah.
So it's kind of like a day look and a night look.
Yeah, like a daytime night look for springtime. That's a great description actually.
Thank you. I worked really hard on it. So this is it, and we hope you liked the video. We just meant for it to be really informative.
Yeah.
Just kind of give you guys why we do what we do, because I know that not everybody who watches our videos is professional or even close to professional or knows anything about makeup, and that's fine. But we do want you guys to feel beautiful and learn something. So hopefully this video taught you a little bit about what we do and why we do what we do.
And just something that you guys can like kind of go back and watch, because I know that
Right.
we do move a little bit quickly in our videos, and if you want to practice or whatever, just something you guys can have and keep on going back to.
Yeah. So that's what we meant to do here, is we hope you guys like it. Again, like, subscribe, leave a comment below if you think of a video that you'd love to see.
Yeah, if you guys have any like crazy fun videos that you want us to do, like we are here for it. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas, send them over. We'd love to hear them. We definitely appreciate you guys watching, and thanks again.
Bye! We are so happy you guys are here. Today we got